This is Good Morning Virginia.
Working in live TV news is fast-paced.
We are starting this morning with a breaking news.
Stressful and exhilarating, but it can be so rewarding. From reporter live shots,
Kelsey, they certainly are.
A few hours ago,
to using showcasing elements to best tell the story. There are a lot of moving parts to a newscast.
That is from Tropical Storm Ian. I'll talk about what to expect here locally and what's going on along the coast coming up next.
My name is Mario Cosentino, and I am a TV news producer. And today, I'm going to walk you through how to produce a live TV newscast. Every newscast starts with headlines. Headlines can be the reason someone decides to watch the newscast or whether they click away. Great headlines utilize good sound, good video, and creative headline banners, all to draw the audience in.
Gas prices are headed back up, and that's not all.
I chose to put these stories in headlines because they were all local stories or had some kind of local angle to them. Each story also has a soundbite which really helps add emotion.
Our students have incurred more and more debt. It has severely...
It is also important to put a story in your headlines that is later on in the show, and that is exactly what I did here with the student loan story.
The drawbacks to the plan some politicians are pointing out.
Next, I'm going to talk about weather. Weather is a huge part of TV news, and a lot of times is the reason people tune into local news.
Good Tuesday morning, Virginia. Time now is 5 o'clock. I'm Patty Martin.
And I'm Melissa Schroeder. Good morning, everyone. ABC 13's Will Stafford joins us in the Weather Center today. And it's a bit chilly out there.
It is a tiny touch on the nippy side.
Because this is a morning show, we almost always follow our headlines with our first hit of weather because people want to know what their commute to school or work is going to be like. But if there's breaking news, weather could be our second or third story. Our main weather hit is halfway through the show. This is because of how the rating system works. A huge part of getting better ratings is getting people to stay after the 15-minute mark of a 30-minute show. We do this by saving some of our big stories and our main weather hit for the second half of the show.
After our first look at weather, we have our lead story. A great lead story has good video, good sound, it impacts your audience, and a bonus, it can be fronted live by a reporter in the field.
All right, turning now to consumer news where gas prices are going up once again.
And a lot of people are feeling the increase beyond the gas pump. ABC 13's Paige Meyer joins us live with a look at how gas prices trended upwards over the last several weeks. Good morning to you, Paige.
Good morning, Melissa. And earlier this fall, we got a little break from...
Gas prices going up affects just about all of our viewers, so this was an easy pick for our top story after weather. Live shots like this are a huge part of what makes TV news such a great medium. A lot of times we put our morning reporter on the biggest local story of the day, but if you're going to use a live shot, there better be a reason why. There has to be something the reporter is showing or doing to the audience, or there should be something going on in the background.
This morning, Paige Meyer, ABC 13 News.
Now a word on stacking, or the process of deciding what goes in the show and where. When deciding whether a story goes in the show, you have to keep in mind how new the story is, whether it's local, if it impacts your viewers, and how strong the visual elements are.
And ABC 13 has you covered when it comes to where to find the cheapest fuel in the area.
When I stack a show, I try to put stories together that are on the same or similar topics. This gas price breakout, for example, helps make the gas story more local.
And in Danville, gasoline at the Walmart on Nordan Drive is $3.22.
I also use these things called stingers, which separate stories on different topics within the show.
Keep criminals behind bars.
The goal of this new public safety initiative is to make Virginia a safer place to live. Danielle Seda has the latest on the announcement from Governor Glenn Youngkin.
When you're stacking a show, you don't want to just focus on how newsworthy a story is, you also want to focus on pacing, or how the anchors move through the show.
According to statistics recorded by the FBI in 2020,
if you use too many packages like this one, then the show will move very slowly. You also want to be careful not to put too many voiceovers or graphics in a row because that can get very boring. Plus, the anchors need time to catch their breath and get a break from talking. A good rule of thumb is to use no more than 2 packages in a block, and to use as few national packages as possible. You can justify using more news packages in a show if they are localized.
In one of Virginia's most historic cities.
In Norfolk, Danielle Seda, News 3.
The Virginia Department of Health and the Virginia...
Next, I'm going to touch on showcasing. Stories are important, but how these stories are told is also very important. Here, I use what we call an anchor box to help introduce the story. For the story on fighting crime in Virginia, I moved my anchors out from the desk and used another set piece to showcase video.
In fact, outside of the opening 2 shot, none of the shots in my A block were the same. Finally, we have teases. Teases are important because they tease ahead to stories in the show in hopes of getting the audience to stick around. I pick stories to tease based off of how newsworthy they are and whether they have an element that I can hold back from the audience, hence the name tease.
A food recall you should know about that could impact some restaurants here in Virginia.
So there you have it. These are the main principles when it comes to building a newscast. I could talk about the finer details all day long, but these are the main things to keep in mind when producing a live TV show.